I'm very pleased to comment on Biocon's first quarter's FY25 earnings. So let me start by sharing numbers with you. Biocon's consolidated revenues this quarter touched 4,567 crores, which is a strong 30% year-on-year growth. EBITDA is up 117% at rupees 1,755 crores, and net profit is at 660 crores. The biosimilars business delivered a very strong performance with 11% year-on-year growth. And this is on the back of consolidating its acquired business from Viatris through a worldwide integration, and these are the numbers you're now seeing post-integration. It was the performance in biosimilars that helped to basically offset the challenges that the generics business faced in terms of pricing pressures, and the research services business at Syngene faced in terms of a very difficult biotech funding environment in the US, which had an impact on Syngene's growth trajectory. Now, moving to a comprehensive overview on our various business segments. So let me also first point out that this very strong growth that I just reported in terms of both EBITDA and profits actually emanated from the one-time gain that we had of 1,057 crores from the proceeds that we obtained from the partnership that we struck with Eris Lifesciences with respect to our branded formulations business. And as a result, the EBITDA for the quarter was obviously 1,755 crores versus 808 crores the previous year. EBITDA margins therefore jumped to 38% this year as compared to 23% a year ago. And core EBITDA, which of course is a number that we all often call out, which is excluding, various gains. It does not include R&D expenses. It does not include licensing income or any one-time gains that we often see, or forex gains for that matter, or mark-to-market gains that we sometimes see. This core EBITDA had a margin of 26% at 903 crores. Now, net profit for the quarter before exceptional items, that is, if you did not consider the Eris Pharma deal, then it stood at 648 crores. So now let's come to segmental growth. So let me start with biosimilars. Biosimilars reached a revenue level of 2,083 crores, which was up 11% if you compare it on a like-for-like basis, excluding the branded formulations business, which was actually part of the overall numbers last fiscal and not a part of the numbers this fiscal. But if you also, basically exclude the licensing income from this number that we had last fiscal, which was a one-time licensing income, then the growth or the product revenue growth actually increases to 19%. Now, this growth or this revenue, delivery actually translated to a core EBITDA of 614 crores, which represents a margin of 30%. And if you then drop it to an EBITDA level, it of course was at 474 crores at a margin of 23%. Now, this is a very strong performance of the biosimilars business. And R&D, of course, this quarter was much lower and represented 8% of revenues. which will still help us to drive mid to long-term growth. Our global clinical trial for biosimilar denosumab met the required endpoints, and we are now currently on track to submit regulatory filings later this year. So, as I said, when we talk about growth this quarter, I think we had a very good contribution from biosimilars at a consolidated level. We had a very good segmental performance from biosimilars. And in the United States, we continued to experience strong demand across our product portfolio, where our oncology products, Fulphila and Ogivri, maintained substantial market shares of 20% and 19% respectively. Market access agreements for Fulphila secured earlier came into effect this quarter, which is what drove the growth. And we also secured a new market access agreement with a regional health plan. Now, in case of Hulio, which is our biosimilar adalimumab, a new non-exclusive agreement with a national pharmacy benefit manager became operational during the quarter. Additionally, our unbranded adalimumab is now available for purchase for all 70 million Costco cardholders in the US. So this is a product that we have to really watch carefully and see how it starts growing in the US market. Now, when it comes to Semglee, our insulin glargine, again, we have a strong double-digit share in the US. And if you compare, and if you include, of course, the managed care segment, it is above mid-teens. We are well positioned to capitalize on emerging opportunities as the US insulin's landscape evolves. As you know, we are seeing the exit of insulin companies from many global markets, and this allows us to basically move in and capture some of those opportunities. In Europe, our market shares have remained very stable with notable performances in key markets where Hulio continues to be the market leader in Germany. On the oncology front, I'm pleased to report that Ogivri, Fulphila, and Abevmy, which is bevacizumab, have captured double-digit shares in markets like France and Italy. So this is a very positive development in Europe. Our business expansion strategy in Europe is progressing well, and it is marked by several new launches and tender wins at national and hospital levels in countries like UK and Italy. We have also consolidated our business in Japan, Australia, and New Zealand through collaborations. Now I come to emerging markets. That's another very strong growth driver and has delivered a very good number in terms of its own emerging market business. We have had strong performance driven by higher sales of bevacizumab, trastuzumab, etanercept, recombinant human insulin, and glargine across our key markets in LATAM, AFMET, and APAC regions. And during this quarter, we also had 12 new product launches. We also won 14 new regulatory approvals, which will also now position us for even greater growth going forward. So overall, biosimilars has had a very strong showing this quarter. Now let me turn to generics, which is a slightly different story. It showed a muted performance. It delivered revenues of 659 crores, which is a degrowth compared to last fiscal. This particular segment continues to encounter pricing pressure both on APIs and generic formulations. But a good piece of news is that during the quarter, Biocon obtained its first injectable approval in the US, which is micafungin for injection in 50 and 100 milligram strengths. The business also secured new customer contracts for mycophenolic sodium tablets and liothyronine sodium tablets in the US. As I mentioned, what is important for us to watch this fiscal is the launch of liraglutide in many markets, including the UK, Europe at a later stage, and of course, many emerging markets. Overall, I think the second half is likely to deliver much stronger growth for the generics business on the back of liraglutide. Coming to Syngene, Syngene again showed a muted performance, 790 crores. It was down 2%. And this first quarter performance was impacted by the, challenging US biotech funding ecosystem, which really has seen an impact of slowing down in investing in early stage discovery and development. However, having said that, our dedicated centers and our biologics manufacturing services were the ones that came to the rescue of our research services business, which showed good growth. Development services also continues to attract repeat business from existing clients, but we need to see many more new clients, which we hope will happen in the second half, because we are seeing a number of pilot projects come our way, a number of RFPs come our way, and we are beginning to see green shoots in the biotech funding ecosystem. So when it comes to outlook for this fiscal, we remain very positive. We expect strong growth in the second half of this fiscal with new product launches in the biosimilars and generics business, especially liraglutide, as well as improved business prospects for Syngene as biotech funding recovers. As I said, without replicating what I said before, generics is very positively poised with its liraglutide launch in the second half. Biosimilars is looking forward to the insulins business also gaining traction with increasing demand across the globe. And research services, of course, looks forward to the renewed and revived funding in the biotech ecosystem. So with all that, I think we are poised for a very strong showing in the second half, a good recovery in the second half. The second quarter will largely mirror the first quarter, but we are very confident that the next two quarters will show a very strong growth and the year will end on a positive note. Thank you.